Good Monday morning, and thank you for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Brandon T. Jones, and we also want to welcome you in if you're streaming us on KREM 2+. It is officially Christmas week, so we're excited. We're tracking Santa, and we've got Miss Washington in the building, Regan Gallo. She's tracking all of our weather conditions. Regan, are we dreaming of a white Christmas, or what do you think?
You know, it might not be a white Christmas, but at least, Brandon T. Jones, it will be a dry Christmas. So right now, we're going to be staying in those upper 40s, mid 40s actually to upper 30s. And then it's going to bring in some rain tonight at midnight, but then it's going to clear up for Santa actually on Wednesday. So let's look at our 3-day forecast. So Tuesday, we're going to have some rain. And then even though it says a chance of rain still on Wednesday, we're going to have a little bit of a dry spell. And then on Thursday, after Christmas Day, we're going to have some of those showers come back.
All righty, Regan, we'll check back in with you here in a few minutes. But for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the road conditions. Looks a little bit wet out there this morning. I know I ran into a couple of light drops on my commute, and things are moving pretty smooth. A good amount of cars out there, though, right now. This is I-90 and Jefferson. Of course, here on Up with KREM, we bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes, so we'll keep an eye out on those roads. Well, it's 6:01. Let's go ahead and take a look at today's top stories. We're learning more about a shooting in Otis Orchards. On Saturday, the Liberty Lake police officers responded to a road rage and hit-and-run call near Malvern Road and East Wellesley Avenue. Officers say a man intentionally hit cars with their own car. That person then threw rocks and other objects at the same cars. After an altercation, police shot the man. He was restrained and taken to the hospital for medical care. No further information has been released. A man in Lewiston has second-degree burns after a house fire. The Lewiston Fire Department worked to contain a house fire that broke out on Saturday afternoon on 16th Street. Firefighters say it started on the back porch of a home and spread onto a nearby motorhome. The man attempted to extinguish the fire with a fire extinguisher. Other residents of the home evacuated along with their pets. The cause of the fire is now under investigation. The Coeur d'Alene Police Department is investigating an unusual incident involving a 16-year-old girl and a man dressed as a snowman. On Thursday, officers responded to a report of battery at the downtown shopping area. Police say the victim was visiting the shops with her friends when she encountered the snowman mascot, who was employed by Lake Coeur d'Alene Crews. CDA police said this teenager has a fear of mascots, and despite her attempts to avoid contact, the man in the snowman costume hugged her before turning toward her friends. One of the victim's friends tripped while running away and struck her head. Medical personnel say she did not require further medical attention. Surveillance video showed the snowman mascot interacting with other children and adults in a friendly and non-threatening manner before the incident. The victim's parents were informed of the situation and they had not pressed charges. And this incident is still under investigation. And that's a look at today's top stories. Well, now to a story we've been tracking over the last few weeks. Some University of Idaho students are speaking out after the Idaho Board of Education passed a resolution banning all offices involving diversity, equity, and inclusion. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy reports on how that could affect change at students and across the state.
Changes are coming to the University of Idaho.
The emotions, the frustration, and the sadness have definitely started to hit.
Aaliyah Schmidt is a diversity scholar at U of I. It's a financial scholarship students can apply for that goes towards their tuition.
I do kind of rely on as many scholarships as I can get.
But she worries that funding won't be available anymore.
This is money that I've been relying on since I joined the program.
The Idaho Board of Education unanimously passed a resolution on Wednesday banning diversity, equity, and inclusion offices across campus. This could mean DEI scholarships will no longer be available to students attending Idaho public universities.
I think on many campuses across this country, the way it has been implemented has created real problems.
That's board member Kurt Liebeck at Wednesday's meeting, advocating for the DEI office ban. The resolution says the decision is intended to ensure institutions don't use personal characteristics in decisions for campus jobs, educations, or initiatives. The DEI offices on university campuses will start closing in the spring semester.
I hope that our students know that we are here for them and that resources are available and that they can continue to feel welcome at University of Idaho.
Jody Walker with U of I says despite the closure of DEI offices, students can still form clubs and gather. But Schmidt says after speaking with other diversity scholars, the resolution affects their education.
Financially, we'll be okay for next semester, but come fall of 25, that scholarship won't be a thing anymore. So there are students who are talking about not being able to come back next academic year.
Walker says the official number of returning students remains to be seen.
It's going to take some time to get all of the right supports in the right places, but we are definitely there for our students, and we will all work through that together.
The resolution requires all related campus offices to close no later than June 30th. New for you this morning, the House of Ethics Committees released its report on former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. The investigation focused on allegations of sexual misconduct and obstruction. The report says Gaetz paid numerous women for sex, including a 17-year-old. It also states he purchased and used illegal drugs from his Capitol Hill office. Gaetz repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. He resigned from Congress earlier this year after President-elect Donald Trump said he planned to nominate him to be Attorney General. Gaetz soon withdrew from consideration. President Biden signed a government funding bill Saturday avoiding a shutdown crisis. The Senate passed a short-term spending bill about 45 minutes after their midnight deadline on Friday. It funds the government through mid-March and includes $100 billion in disaster aid. The bill does not include a debt limit extension, which President-elect Trump pushed for. Biden released a statement saying the agreement is a compromise and that neither side got everything they wanted. Well, a viral report calls out the federal government, claiming 9 in 10 employees are working from home. Brandon Lewis from our Verify team digs into the data to see if that's really happening.
On December 5th, Iowa Senator Joni Ernst released this report criticizing how many federal employees work remotely. She claims before the pandemic, around 97% of federal workers were in the office, but after the pandemic, it's just 6%. A claim that was picked up by several news outlets and one she reiterated on Fox News.
Now, we only have 6% of our federal workforce actually going into work every single day.
A viewer texted us to ask if that's true. So let's verify. Our sources are Ernst Report, the Office of Management and Budget, the Office of Personnel Management, and the American Federation of Government Employees. Ernst's 6% figure comes from a survey by the Federal News Network, not an official government agency. After Ernst's report came out, FNN explained the results were non-scientific and based on self-reported responses from around 6,300 people who said they were federal employees. In August, the Office of Management and Budget released an official government report on teleworking. It found 54% of workers are in the office full-time. The rest are telework eligible, with 10% fully remote. So it's false that only 6% of federal employees work in person full-time. After Ernst's report citing FNN's study was released, an article was updated with an editor's note explaining the data's limitations and included the Office of Management and Budget's actual figures. Ernst did not respond to our questions about her report. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Well, we are looking at mild conditions for our Monday to start our Christmas week, which is kind of exciting. And then we're going to see some rain trickle in more midnight tonight. So 42 around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. It's going to stay in those low to mid 40s, and it's really not going to move around much. Like I said, the next 12 hours, it is going to be dry. It's going to be cloudy, which is exciting because we're going to see, less ice on the road because we've been seeing that a lot lately. And then I'm going to do a little teaser for our main weather for later this morning. Mild and cloudy, chance of rain later tonight, and then dry on Christmas. We are expecting a dry spell for Santa.